He's the man we are gathered here to celebrate. Today, we are launching a week-long event. 2024 Nkrumah Fest. The journey to Nkrumah. This is a flagship event that a group of us, as Nzimers, including our MPs, like Ebushia Kwenyoni said, our MPs, our DCs, members of the Nzima Professional Group, the Nkrumah Community Development Association. We've all come here to launch this year's special event. It's a week-long event which will culminate into the 115th birthday celebration of our dear, our legend, our founder, our bold leader, our own, Osagyefo Dr. Kwame Nkrumah. So without further ado, I would like to invite Honorable Emmanuel Amakofi-Boa to give us a welcome address and tell us more about this.
Okay. Nana, Chris Kutua. More only bring bunny, will you walk on the floor? Would you chromo? Buy him more. Musung by Mama. Yeah, back about. We won't come back because your lunch. Na enda mo yaki ya biya din da ya Ghana ma. Muti yadin da rane ya ba han reason because yamma mo yego kra mo yazidi ya moti yokia na Ghana ma ya tin da ya reba muti bu nke hu echi mero a bevesham ndawasi. Our distinguished members of parliament, I see Honorable Afo, the MP for Amenfi West. Oh, let's clap for him. Honorable Kofi Akonoko, the MP for Valua Jomorojra. I see our brother, Mr. Charles Mensah, our distinguished coordinator and leader in our Zimmerman County. For him. I don't know what is Mike. And then our very proud lawyer, Frimpong. Yao Frimpong, clap for him. He's our keynote speaker today. Today we gathered at this hallowed ground, the Kwame Nkrumah Mausoleum in Accra, to launch, as has been described, of a legendary figure whose vision and tenacity transformed the course of our nation's history. In just 2 weeks, we will gather in Nkrumah, the birthplace of Osagyefo Dr. Kwame Nkrumah, to commemorate the 115th birthday, a day that is not merely a date on the calendar, but a profound reminder of the enduring legacy of our founding father. Oh, I didn't hear you clap. He is the founding father of modern Ghana. And we have dubbed it a journey to historic Nkrumah. And I'll explain why it is so important. This journey to Nkrumah was started by men of valor in the past. And I'm taking you back, a little back into history. It was first embarked upon by the late Robert Techimenson, the Accra regional organizer of the Ghana Young Pioneers, who mounted the very first walkathon in Ghana's history, a journey from Accra to Nkrumah in 1 week. The then 400 candidates were the young, able-bodied, the fierce, the courageous, the loyal, and patriotic Ghanaian young pioneer. 400 of them decided to walk from Accra to Nkrumah. In their crisply iron uniforms, they marched through the coastal cities and towns along the single file row while reciting their code of ethics, their pledge of allegiance, while singing the patriotic national anthem. And I'll briefly quote a paragraph: "Lift high the glad of Jesus, the glad of Ghana." This was recited throughout the journey from Accra, the seat of political power, to Nkrumah, the birth of nativity and of the homestead. We do so because, and I think that somebody should ask me, why is a journey to Nkrumah in 2024 still very relevant and important? We do so because it is still relevant to learn of the political ideals of the social, moral, and patriotic norms which were given birth to at the humble birthplace of Madam Nyaniba at Nkrumah. Nkrumah is at the heart and root of the founding of modern Ghana. It is the root of the independence of Ghana and the birthing of good governance, good citizenship, as well as the birthing of the collective union of African states. All of these systemic features originated from Nkrumah. Through what? By the birth of this lone child called Osajifo Dr. Kwame Nkrumah. Ghana, nyani biya moving dele, ye found Africa states, be found nga chiremu yengu imani yanula, obuvu na nanyana ba ekunu, na nanyana ba niyagovia, sengrofro. Motisi yakanke, de biya movie Ghana loving Nkrumah, and all no halaboko. Babo besema mayem. So as we prepare for this grand celebration, let us take a moment to remember the values, the principles and aspirations of Osajifo Dr. Kwame Nkrumah. The principles and the values that he embodied. Dr. Kwame Nkrumah played an exceptional and peerless role in the struggle for independence. His vision was clear: a Ghana free of colonial rule, where the dignity of every citizen will be upheld. He rallied the masses, igniting a fire of hope and determination that swept across our nation. Through his tireless efforts, Ghana became the first sub-Saharan African country to gain independence from British colonial rule. This monumental achievement was not just a victory for Ghana, it was a clarion call for freedom across the African continent. So as we embark on this cardinal journey, I'm honored to stand before you as a member of Parliament for Lembele, the very district that nurtured the roots of our beloved Kwame Nkrumah, with immense pride and responsibility to champion this annual event in collaboration with the chiefs. And let's clap for Nana Akosikutu for his steadfast support and beautiful wife, and the people and the various associations that have actually supported us. And this initiative is not just about remembrance. It is about rekindling the flame of Nkrumah's vision and ensure that his ideals continue to illuminate our path forward. I will urge you to take keen interest in this journey to Nkrumah. And our gathering here is an invitation to the people of Ghana that if you can, we are inviting you on the week of 14th, climaxing on the 21st, his birthday, to Nkrumah. And I think that you never regret it, because you will come back liberated in mind and soul, and you will come back. And I believe that at this very point in Ghana, where everybody that is honest knows that we have lost our way, a journey to Nkrumah will rekindle our spirit. And with the spirit of Osajifo Dr. Kwame Nkrumah, we will find our way as a country again, with the values that matter: citizenship, humility, selflessness, looking out for your neighbor, and committed hard work. Those are the values Osajifo shared. And so, as I end my remarks, let me quote this profound statement from Osajifo, Dr. Kwame Nkrumah. As far as I'm concerned, I am in the knowledge that death can never extinguish the torch which I have lit in Ghana and Africa. Long after I'm dead and gone, the light will continue to burn and burn aloft, giving light and guidance to all people, unquote. Ladies and gentlemen, please join me in this journey of history, remembrance, hope, and let's go have old good time. Thank you very much.
I think if Kwame Nkrumah was here, he would have been clapping still. So please put your hands together again. For a man that I hardly describe him as a member of parliament for a constituency. And if you've traveled the length and breadth of Nzimaland, the name Amakofi Boa is not a member of parliament. He's a true son of Nzima. Please put your hands together for him. I think Honorable captured the thoughts around Nkrumah differently, but I would simplify it. When they ask you why you came here, you should tell them that you cannot discuss chieftaincy in Ghana without Nkrumah. When they ask you why you came here, you should tell them you cannot speak about Africa without Nkrumah. You cannot speak about politics in Ghana and Africa without Nkrumah. You cannot speak about Ghana's energy foundation without Nkrumah. You cannot speak about Ghana's education and the concepts that guide it without Kwame Nkrumah. When they ask you why you came here, you should tell them that you are joining the road to Nkrumah because you cannot speak about Ghana's independence without Nkrumah. When they ask you why you're here, you should tell them that the traders, the market women, those who formed the informal foundation of our independence were rallied around the call by Nkrumah. When they ask you why you came here, you should tell them that the very foundation of Ghana's foreign relations, Ghana's drive to unify Africa and to move us forward, would not have happened without Osajifo Dr. Kwame Nkrumah. Finally, and it's not a final thing, when they ask you why you're joining the road to Nkrumah, you would say that the word progress will not be complete without the son of Nkrumah. So please put your hands together for Osajifo Dr. Kwame Nkrumah. If you leave me to stand here, I will talk the whole day. But today is not about me. So I'd like to humbly invite an individual, a leader, one who forms a clear part of Ghana's development, a chief who is part of not just Ghana's chieftaincy web, but one who currently leads the culture of Nkrumah. May I humbly request that we all stand up as we invite the august chair of this occasion, Nana Kwesi Kutua V, as he delivers his remarks.
Nanamo Mbazrebe Kemo Behala na mehechianye ni chi ene yemoti yenye bulopale yepundeke adremo yefia Nkrumah la evle Ghana memoti bengu debeti mo ozekebeba Nkrofo. Honorable Maame Ama Pratt, the MP of Elembele. He is also known as the Ashen Man. Honorable Kofi Akunoko, MP of Evaluate Jura. Honorable Eric Afo, MP of Wasa Amenfi West. Lawyer Dr. Anochi. Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, I am highly honored to sit here as your servant who has been called to chair today's program. The journey to Nkrofo is something that we should be proud of as Nzima, because the foundation of Ghana was laid by the son of Nkrofo. For that matter, the son of Nzima, Osajefo Dr. Kwame Nkrumah. And what does the journey to Nkrofo means? Is it just a walk to Nkrofo as a marathon competition? I differ in thought. And my conception about the journey to Nkrofo is about narrating the ideals and the norms as well as the beliefs of Osajefo Dr. Kwame Nkrumah. It's about telling people about the sacrifices that this man was able to lay for the people of Ghana. I want to invite all of you to join me to steer the affairs of today's program. But let me acknowledge the effort of Honorable Ama Kofi. I heard the MC saying that this man is not just an MP of Elembele. I see him as another Osajefo Dr. Kwame Nkrumah. I see him as somebody who would bear the light of Ghana some other day. Honorable, we are grateful to you. The whole Nzima land, we are grateful to you for the effort. And I want to acknowledge the support of my Odukros Nkrofo community and the media houses for coming here to witness today's program. I want to see that as the captain of the ship, I would ensure that everything would continue successfully. And at the end of the day, we'll have the honor to acknowledge the effort of our God. But I'm so much glad and, excited of the overwhelming support that we have received. And I know this year's program would be exceptional as compared to the previous ones. Thank you very much, and I'm so glad for this opportunity. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Please, let's put our hands together. And before we continue the program, we would enjoy what I've come to believe will be very soothing music. You will be listening to one of Ghana's very finest guitarists. And as he sings, please listen to the words.
Hello. Ansana mwana na mobile ani eto na kamo anana nimbe ima rebelity yenwi mena me twazre ni tidwe kamo kwa mo kuma hani evra pena zi nkwa ke ande bozma ke yedi oboa ndem dike oteka mozi kamo nana hara yenya kwa mo kuma fofre obazo kwa mo kuma kanene enu na ya menu ha zo de hu biara na azma manoko ye wadoye ejweke bezia frenge njizule ejweke baga frenge njizule kwa Nkrumah mengane mingile eja Nkrumah o mengane o nanuma mengane na bandio anuma mengane na bandio sejweke baga frenge njizule Hemozio Africa mao ya hemozio Azwanzi mao ya hemozi boko Neshete mise menganio na bande Neshete mise menganio na bande Sejweke baga frenge njizule kwa Nkrumah mengane mingile rebe eja Nkrumah o mengane o nanuma mengane na bandi o nanuma mengane na bandi o sejweke baga frenge njizule Africa mao ya hemozi o Abibira mao ya hemozi Azwanze ma ya hemozi boko Netiete mise mingani o na bande Netiete mise mingani o na bande Umari jwero
Ose mahale na bande. Mahale ba bande. Muti enemo yelo ko Nkrumah. Se yaka osake biti ana mbadale. Muti se come back like previously. Yeah, I'll do that. Previously, come back here. Eklemang hare ya bande ya enemo mulakala osake biti. The words of the song implies or translates that I sounded these things to you previously, and you heard me not. That's the admonition. And my conclusion to that is that now that we are about to embark on a journey, we are sounding again. I'm hopeful that we would listen. But the next speaker is someone who has listened from childhood. He's an Nzima, born in Nzima, named by an Nzima, stayed in Nzimaland, and he has committed himself to always going back home to support the cause of Nzima. He supported education in Nzima. He's paid fees in Nzima, built in Nzima, counseled in Nzima, empowered youth in Nzema. At some point, I thought he was going to be a politician. But he said, not all of us have the tenacity of Amago Fibua Honorable. But some of us must support in the background. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm inviting here a fantastic individual who happens to be my blood brother. Please put your hands together for Mr. Charles Mensah. And Charles will be telling us about what we should expect in this amazing event this year. Charles Mensah.
Usually, when it comes to Nzema matters, I get a bit emotional, starting from the pouring of libation. The evocation of the Spirit really touched me there. Distinguished guests, I stand on the existing protocol. Distinguished Chairperson, Honorable Member, and my dear friend that I've followed, Lawyer Noche, and indeed our MPs. It is a privilege to speak at the launch of this festival as we reflect on the enduring legacy of Dr. Kwame Nkrumah, Ghana's first president. Born, indeed, in Nkrumah, rose from a humble beginning to become a global leader in the fight for freedom and justice. His leadership led to Ghana's independence on 6th March 1957, making us the first sub-Sahara Africa country to break free from the colonial rule. Nkrumah's vision extended beyond political freedom to economic independence, aiming to transform Ghana into a modern independence, industrialized nation. He invested in infrastructure. So I was happy when Jesse did mention that when they asked you, he invested in education, he invested in healthcare, he indeed striving for self-reliance in Ghana. As a champion of Pan-Africanism, he worked tirelessly for African unity, helping to establish the Organization of African Unity. Despite facing challenges, including the coup that overthrew his government, Nkrumah's ideas and principles have endured. His legacy continues to influence Ghana and Africa, inspiring us to value education, innovation, and unity globally. He remains an icon of anti-colonial movement. As we celebrate the festival, let us honor Nkrumah's vision by building a strong, united, and prosperous Ghana. Let us strive for the Africa he dreamt of, united and driven by a collective will of the people. And for the program lineup, as I have it, indeed, I intend to appeal to the owners of VIP and STC and things to make buses available. Last week or last 2 weeks, I was in Nzema, and I negotiated with some of the hotels there. And I'm sure because of Nkrumah, they will give you discount. They will give us discount and visit the place. Because when you visit Nkrumah's place, for that humble beginning, the things that you see, the spirit that will enter you when you enter that place, you will not be the same. Trust me. I've been there a couple of times and you will never be the same. That humble beginning, for a man to come from that place, that small place, and become a tall figure, not only in Ghana, but Africa. It means that there's something there. There's something in Nkrumah. They be okay. They be okay. They be okay. They be okay. Nkrumah. They be okay. Nana, they be okay. They be okay. So on the 14th of September, there will be parade and cultural march and a float. In fact, we'll do the cleanup exercise, and after that, there will be a floating. We will do the float around the place, starting from Esiama, which is where I come from, and Esiama and Nkrumah. And then from there up to Nkrumah. Then on the 15th, which is Sunday, to 17th, we'll have workshop for the youth. Workshop for the youth, which will be an empowerment workshop, and then we'll have a church service. Then from the 19th to 20th, Thursday to Friday, we'll have Onia TV People's Assembly, and then we'll have an art exhibition and a book fair. And the location would definitely be Kwame Nkrumah Mausoleum. Then on the 20th, which is Friday, 20th, Friday, 9 p.m. No, sorry, 9 p.m. to 12, we'll have a candlelight procession and cutting of Nkrumah's birthday cake at Madam Nyaniba Galemo Wela Isun. So we'll cut the cake there, but we will do candlelight procession around that time. Candlelight, we want baby to candle yazo. Na yaviaho ekening. Then 21st, which is the D-Day. D-Day. Then yeah, 21st, only Saturday. Kwame Nkrumah Saturday. Mutoli D-Day ankasa. War 21st. Now, what should happen is that we'll have a grand deba, we'll have cultural performance, and then we'll have food festival. In fact, the food festival, come and taste proper Nzima food, proper cheke, proper fonvum, proper erebolo. Things that you haven't tasted in a long while. Join us there. Trust me. And then sanle. Oh, baby sanle. Yeah. You know, I mean, these are the things that when you taste it, you see. So that will happen on 21st. Then 22nd, we'll have what I call Thanksgiving services, musical concert at Nas School Park. Now, musical concert, the people that have planned and agreed to join us, we'll have Miwe, we'll have Stoneboy. They are all coming to join us there. So this year is no joke. And once again, hotels are going to give us discounts for those who will be traveling from Accra. The VIPs and the STCs are also arranging so that at least we'll have the buses moving us there. Come and tour the place. Come and see where Nkrumah was born. Come and see that place. You would never be the same. Medabasiboko.
Thank you so much, Mr. Charles Mensah. Thank you. You brought us good news. You've really given us the program lineup. So everybody should know that it's going to be a fun-filled week. All roads lead to Nkrumah from the 14th to the 22nd of September. We have buses ready for you. Hotels are going to be discounted. If you love Kwame Nkrumah, if you believe in the legacy of Kwame Nkrumah, please come join us on the road to Nkrumah the week of the 14th to the 22nd of September. Now, there's a young man here. I can call him a young man. He's called Black Rasta. Are you here? Oh, you come. Come. I learned that you love so much, more than love. Every song you have sung, everything you do, you believe in Kwame Nkrumah. Are you an Nzima?
I am.
You are not an Nzima. I am. Even better, because for us who are Nzimas, who love Kwame Nkrumah, it is by blood. But for you who are a non-Nzima, but who loves Kwame Nkrumah, you are a true patriotic Ghanaian. And only true patriotic Ghanaians believe in the legacy of Osagyefo Kwame Nkrumah as the founder of Ghana's independence. So please tell us something. Tell us something about Kwame Nkrumah and why you love him so much.
All right, thank you so much. Thank you so much. Let me hear you say, "Moo of fire." Oh, moo of fire. Ah. The sun is blazing, so I'm just going to speak for 30 seconds. Start looking at your clock. 30 seconds, I'll be done. She asked me if I was an Nzima. In fact, Kwame Nkrumah has gone beyond Nzima. Nkrumah has traveled beyond Ghana, traveled beyond Africa. If you don't love Nkrumah, who else would you love? Anyone who doesn't love Nkrumah is a lover of the devil, Satan, Lucifer. True? That's what it is. The man who gave you independence. The man who refused to own anything material. What kind of a man was this? Huh? I have traveled to Nzima all over, done a lot of, documentaries. I have never seen a man like Nkrumah. A man who was buried 3 times. Even Christ was buried once. Hallelujah. Nkrumah was buried 3 times. What a man. When he was invited to come all the way from Obodo Ibo to come and be the Secretary General of the UGCC, he said, "No, I'm not coming home. If it's about Gold Coast, now, I want to come and liberate the whole of Africa." It was people like Padmore and the rest of them who begged him and said, "Listen, you think big, but start small." Nkrumah said, "No, I want to start big." No wonder when they were saying, "Oh, independence at the earliest possible time," he said, "Independence now, self-government." True? When you read some of the CIA files on Nkrumah, you will be shocked. Everyone was looking at Nkrumah, the so-called Big Six. They say, "Oh, these guys are weak, forget about them." The main man there is this man. If you get him, you have the whole of the people locked up. A man like this, the least you can do is to be grateful to him. See? That is why I eat Nkrumah, sleep Nkrumah, and also talk Nkrumah. See? I remember in 2007 when I recorded Barack Obama. "Mama, mama, come make we talk, come make we talk about Barack Obama. Papa, papa, sing. Come make we talk, come make we talk about Barack Obama. Barack Obama. Barack Obama." I was touring America. And you know what? The Americans started asking me, "When are you making a song for Nkrumah?" I was so embarrassed. "Hey, you made a song for Obama. How about the man who was a hero to Obama himself?" I told myself at the right time, music is all about inspiration. The inspiration hasn't come yet. On my way back in Libya, the inspiration came, bam! A song from Nkrumah. And I'm glad that it's a song that has taught the world. People love it. Kwame Nkrumah, whoa, why did you leave so soon? I miss you so. When we are go see you again. So Kwame Nkrumah, whoa, why did you leave so soon? I miss you so. When we are go see you again. I normally don't like singing it. It makes tears come out of my eyes. Thank you so much. Love, 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 love.
Thank you so much, Black Rasta. Thank you. We now come to a point where we'll invite a keynote speaker. Our keynote speaker is Professor Lawyer. That's heavy. The guy is a professor and a lawyer. Okay, so it's Professor Lawyer Yao Anochi Frimpong. He's currently an Accra-based private legal practitioner. He studied law at the University of Ghana and the Ghana School of Law. He studied transitional justice at the University of Cape Town in South Africa. He holds a doctorate degree in educational leadership from the University of California. He has been a part-time lecturer at the graduate level at the Wisconsin International University and the Valley View University. He has done considerable work in the political development and cultural history of Ghana. He intends contesting the 2024 elections in Ghana as presidential candidate on the ticket of, who can tell me? On the ticket of, who can tell me? Yes, CPP, Kwame Nkrumah's CPP. Ladies and gentlemen, please help me welcome Professor Lawyer Yao Anochi Frimpong.
Well, good afternoon, everybody. Nana Chairman, Nananom, members of the media, and then our distinguished members of Parliament, ladies and gentlemen. Let me first thank the organizers of this program for deciding to fall upon me to deliver this talk. I believe there are far many people far better than my good self who could do a great job, and I don't know why they decided to invite me, Anochi. Again, I'm not a professor. I'm not. I'm just a very ordinary Ghanaian. But if you hear my name, Yao Anochi Frimpong, you might make the mistake that I do not have any link whatsoever with the Western region. Indeed, as Akans, we go to our mothers, and that is why my father's name does not really count. I'm an Nzima man. Now, I'm Nzima, and I can speak Nzima very well. Meka Nzima, but Bangabegla Meke, Jimedin Monne Yeledila, because of press menity, or Seke Meka, Inglesa, Mimediama, Menya, and Nemale, Alebedemo, better the Kena. Thank you. Now, I wouldn't want to start from the beginning by narrating the life story of Kwame Nkrumah, because it is like almost everybody knows it. I'm asked to talk about the legacy of Kwame Nkrumah, but I should also sound a warning to my good self. The moment you talk about the legacy of a person without commencing from his frailties, his errors, then you make him an angel. And angels don't have legacies. So for Nkrumah to have a legacy, you should start from the beginning by painting him in the right dimension as a human being who committed so many errors. Then when you weigh the errors as against his good deeds, then you come out with his legacies. One of the errors or things that made Nkrumah an ordinary human being, and which also presupposes that with a little hard work, especially for our young men and women, you could also aspire to become like him, if not greater. Was this. You see, we all know that Kwame Nkrumah left Ghana's shores in 1935 based on persuasions from his friend Nnamdi Azikiwe to Lincoln University in the US, and also following the footsteps of his mentor, James Kwesi Aggrey. But 1935 is a very significant year in the life of Kwame Nkrumah. It is only when you look at the human part of his life that you would know that Nkrumah was, apart from education, under great pressure to flee this country. What was it? In the year 1935, Nkrumah was already a seminarian at the Emisano Catholic Seminary. He was training himself to become a Catholic priest. And that was the year that he put a local woman at Elmina into the family, in the family way. And I'm sure you understand what I mean. That means that this man had broken his oath as a trainee priest. And I'm saying that he had fathered a child, and that person was the one who would grow to become Professor Francis Nkrumah. Another error, I believe, on the part of Nkrumah was the creation of the one-party system in the country. At the time Nkrumah created the one-party state, the CPP was in a state that could win even 100 successive elections. So why the need to do that? And to cut a long story short, at the time J.B. Dankwa died in prison in 1965, the whole world condemned Nkrumah because it was felt that he could simply have given him a house arrest and then a dismissal of a chief justice after the Kulungugu episode. It can go on and on and on. And that should tell you that Nkrumah was no god. He was an ordinary human being. Now, going to the legacy of Nkrumah, those who spoke before me have mentioned a lot. But before I touch that place, let me pay a glowing tribute to the people of Nzemaland. And it is sad that I'm also an Nzema. Why? If you belong to a system and you are praising that system, then it becomes self-pride or aggrandizement. That's the only sadness I'm talking about. Otherwise, let us praise Nzemaland for being the first in Africa for so many things, a few of which I will mention to you today. Now, did you know that the first ever black person to have gone to school was an Nzema man from Axim, Professor Anton William Amo, 1703 to 1756. And you didn't clap for the man. Yes. You see, until I started my programs on GTV 3 years ago, there was a WASI BECU question, who was Ghana's first professor? And the answer was Professor K.A. Buzia. Please, Amo became a professor in Germany in the 18th century. That is about 200 years before Professor K.A. Buzia was born in 1913. And so the moment I drew the nation's attention to that, West Africa Examination Council immediately stopped using that as a question because the whole West Africa was committing an error. Let us go to the famous King Kekwaka. I wouldn't want to talk about his history, but when he was brought before the Cape Coast trial, Cape Coast Castle for trial and was asked to plead guilty or not guilty. This illiterate African chief, nearly 200 years ago, had refused to sign the bond of 1844 because he knew that it was a mark of colonialism and slavery. This illiterate African chief understood international law, that every country or state was sovereign, and therefore you cannot bring the head or the sovereign, the head of a sovereign state before another sovereign state for trial. This is pure international law, and an Nkrumah chief knew this. Now, on the lighter side of life, Dr. John Aka Blemieza does not need any introduction. He was the fastest man. The white people feared him. He could swindle everyone, and he made millions of dollars just because of his brains. And to this day, people still believe that he's got billions of dollars waiting in a certain account called Omangana Trust Fund. And I don't want you to forget that the oldest cleric in the world, the oldest, call it priest or pastor or imam in the world, is an Nkrumah man. Today's Eastern region and Greater Accra region, it didn't include Ashanti, Volta, and the North. And these men, great, I salute them, had the idea of going to fight for the protection of the land in coastal Ghana. They didn't know Ashanti or the then Northern Territories. So you cannot say that this was a nationalist organization fighting for the independence of this country. Their mandate was to fight against the Lands Bill turning into the Lands Ordinance. Then the National Congress of British West Africa was made up of intelligentsia from West Africa, hoping that one day, if the entire West Africa had its independence, they will come together as one country. It folded up within a short period of time because they discovered that from Ghana to Nigeria alone, there are 2 countries. From Ghana to Gambia, several countries. So there was no way you could create one country out of the 4 British territories. Indeed, the only association organization formed here in Ghana, which had the mandate of looking for independence, was the United Gold Coast Convention. Here too, let us note that their aim was to fight for independence for the Gold Coast colony, Southern Ghana. It didn't include Ashanti, Volta, and the North. So it was not actually national in dimension until Kwame Nkrumah came to the scene. 1947, 2 years later, he broke away from it because their mandate, their myopic parochial intention was to leave out Ashanti, the North, and Volta, and create a very small entity called Akanman. And Nkrumah said no. So, during the 1951 election, Kwame Nkrumah was the only person who CPP put up candidates everywhere in the country. During the 1954 election, it was only Nkrumah who put up candidates everywhere in the country. 56, the same. If Kwame Nkrumah had not arrived on the scene, Ghana would have now, today, turned into 4 countries. The North, because they formed the Northern People's Party, they wanted to break away. 2, Ashanti. Ashanti as a protectorate wanted to break away. The argument was that only the white man conquered them. So if the white man is going away, why should I join others? And then 3, the colony. And then Transvolta, Togoland. It was Nkrumah who united all these 4 sections under his control and called it Ghana. Now the name Ghana, some people suggest that it was some other person who suggested that name. Please, it's a mistake. And I'll tell you why it's a mistake. The first reason is this. You see, in 1953, Kwame Nkrumah moved the motion of destiny in Ghana's Legislative Assembly. At that time, Dr. J.B. Dankwa was the member, let me call him member of parliament, or member of the Legislative Assembly, representing Ebuakwa, Achimba constituency. He was in the House that day when Kwame Nkrumah told his colleagues in parliament that when we win independence, I suggest that we are going to move away from the colonial name Gold Coast and choose the name of that flamboyant Western Sudanese empire called Ghana by way of inspiration. Please, J.B. Dankwa, they do not protest by arguing that you are doing plagiarism because the name came from me. No, just as he also did not support him. So please, the name Ghana was not something Nkrumah initiated because it was the name of an earlier Western Sudanese empire. But for it to become the name of this country was the singular initiative of Osajefo Dr. Kwame Nkrumah. And to prove myself right, I will say that 9 clear years before the independence of Ghana, Kwame Nkrumah had founded a school in Cape Coast and had named that school Ghana National College. Another legacy of Nkrumah that a lot of people overlook, virtually all of us, 33 million people overlook, is what Nkrumah called the Northerners Award. Do you know that when the white people settled at Cape Coast and started giving education to the Fantas, within a short time, they started producing scholars here and there. And they were fighting them over land, commerce, and all of that. So immediately they had to shift the capital from Cape Coast. They felt very insecure. The second thing that came out of it was that the Fantas have received Western education and have become sophisticated. The moment you extend education to the north, they will become sophisticated. And who will do, in quote, our donkey work for us? We need a certain class of Ghanaians or Gold Coasters who will be hewers of wood and drawers of water. So an artificial boundary was drawn up between the north and the south. No education for northern people as a decree set up and endorsed by the whites. And so in 1957, when we had our independence, virtually there was no educated person from the north. And against the interests of everybody, Kwame Nkrumah decided to create scholarship from class 1 to the university for our northern brothers and sisters. And his argument was that if we did not do that, these people would turn out to become armed robbers, or they would turn out to fight us because we are one, and because of segregation and discrimination, they are lacking behind. It was this free education that has produced somebody like Dr. Bawumia as a vice president, Aliu Mahama as a vice president, and Mr. Mahama as a president, Dr. Hila Liman as a president. And today, the country has completely merged up without any distinction. This was something that the Belgians did in Congo, giving preference to the Tutsi people as against the interests of the majority. That was the Hutus. And we know what happened to them in the early 90s. That disparity in education, in government jobs, brought about a civil war. Ghana would have suffered the same fate, but for Kwame Nkrumah. Now let me quickly finish my work, because the big work will be done in the Nzema area. A legacy that Nkrumah created was that he wanted to develop the youth, to become responsible citizens in future. So Nkrumah set up the Young Pioneer movement to teach them morality. Beyond the Young Pioneer movement, Kwame Nkrumah set up the first and only ideological university in Africa at Winneba, called the Kwame Nkrumah Ideological Institute, to train people to become venerable politicians in Africa. Kwame Nkrumah also set up a sports university for the youth. Today, we have only one sports university in South Africa. Kwame Nkrumah was the one who initiated the first one on this continent. And then an university for music development, and then whatever you can imagine, Nkrumah had an answer and the solution to it. Then talk about his industrialization and agric policies. Did you know that as far back as 1965, the State Farms Corporation could employ 18,000 people because he felt that it was the state that should be the center of growth. Today we have changed it, and we are saying that private sector is the engine for development. And we say we have got 326 factories under the one district, one factory. Please, where are they? Where are they? Nkrumah will never be forgotten. Coming to the end, it was Kwame Nkrumah who brought the whole of Africa here in 1958 and encouraged them to come together as one and also to fight for independence. It was Kwame Nkrumah who advised Russia and China to work together as one. They refused to heed his advice. Only 2 years ago, when the Russia-Ukraine war broke out, we see that Russia and China quickly coming together. So that should tell you that this man was not an ordinary man, but a prophet. Lastly, I will say that in the year 2000, when Nkrumah died in 1972, the BBC, British Broadcasting Corporation, conducted a poll for all youth, young people in the world. And you know the result. Kwame Nkrumah stood up outstanding as Africa's man of the last millennium. So when you produce such a man, then it is understandable that he was the doyen of African politics. One of his ministers, called Mr. PKK Kwedu, once described Nkrumah as a colossus among African leaders. He was a man of global dimension, whereas others were mere Pharisees and scribes. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you very much. So, correct me, you're not a professor. Or in the US, you are a professor. In the US, any lecturer is a professor. So let's pretend you're in the US. We'll call you professor. Thank you very much. So thank you very much, Professor Lawyer Yao Anochi Frimpong, for really giving us history. Indeed, he delved into the history of Nkrumah. But what is very important is that he started by saying that our Kwame Nkrumah is not a perfect man, just like nobody in this life is a perfect man. But whilst we dwell on his imperfection, or when we weigh Kwame Nkrumah, for us Ghanaians, I believe that he's more of his legacy, the very positive things he did then that are still benefiting us today. So thank you for painting our Kwame Nkrumah as a true human being. Thank you very much. I'd like to welcome two of our guests here. I saw Honorable Mahama Ayariga. Honorable, very welcome. We're grateful for you to be here. And then we also have Honorable Ajay, what's her name? Ajay Mensah. Where are you? I saw you coming too. You're MP for Wasa East. Yes, thank you very much. Okay, we are rounding off. We are rounding off. At this point, we're going to have the official launch of Nkrumah Fest 2024. We'll do that by a symbolic unveiling by Honorable Amako Fibwa, our chairman, Nana Kwesi Kutua, the 5th Chief of Nkrumah, and all members that are up on the day. So we'll invite you all. Yes, MPs and keynote speakers. I think it's everybody on the high table. So if you could come, Honorable, you can lead them. Yes, or Chairman, you can lead them. We are unveiling.
Ladies and gentlemen, we're going to unveil. The journey to Nkrumah begins now. The journey to Nkrumah begins now. As we relive an amazing memory, the unveiling is going to be done by the Chief of Nkrumah, supported by the dignitaries, including the Honorable Fibua and the Honorable Mahama Ayariga, the Honorable Ajay Mensah, Charles Kwesi Mensah. Hip, 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 hooray! Hip, 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 hooray! Ladies and gentlemen, Nkrumah Fest 2024, the journey to Nkrumah to celebrate 115 years of a surgical Dr. Kwame Nkrumah. 100 years later, the birth, the growth, the socialization, the education, the graduation, the surge to the political landscape, the imprints of Ghana's first president still lives on. And as we start this journey with a clear thought in mind that a life well lived is a life worth enduring.
Yeah. And we are here to honor Osajifo Dr. Kwame Nkrumah, the founder of Ghana. All road leads to Nkrumah, the week of the 14th to the 22nd. Don't miss it. Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, on the 14th of September, there will be a parade and cultural march float cleanup exercise, which will start from Kekam through Esiama to Nkrumah. On the 15th to 17th of September, which is a Sunday to Tuesday, there'll be a youth empowerment workshop, Women Empowerment Day, interdenominational church service, among others. And ladies and gentlemen, of 2024, on the 18th of September 2024, we are going to have the arrival Ladies and gentlemen, at this point, as we are listening to that beautiful cultural rendition, may I request that one of those lovely, lovely, lovely T-shirts are brought to the front right now. Madam T-shirt. I request that we bring one lovely T-shirt to the front now. And again, as we bring the T-shirt, this is how we're going to be looking during the days of the activities. And as we wait for her to present the T-shirts. Just bring one. It's okay, or whatever you can bring is fine. Just to run you through as we bring the program to a close. On the 14th, there's a parade and cultural march. On the 15th to 17th, there's a youth empowerment workshop, which is big. Maybe let's take a break. Honorable, so we'd like to present to you a couple of T-shirts for the activity. If you could unpack one for us, please. And we are hoping that all those of us who are here, so kindly bring 5 more from the back. Please present it to Honorable for me. Honorable, and the symbolism of this is, please. We need the chairman for the occasion. Ladies and gentlemen, this is what it looks like in Nkrumah Fest 2024. The journey is clear, and we are going to Nkrumah. Honorable would kindly request that the first T-shirt is presented to the chair of the occasion. It will like you know say yeah more bialala or yeah fair. Please put your hands together. And all the dignitaries upstage shall be presented with 1 T-shirt each. For myself and my lovely senior MC, the cost for the T-shirt is just 100 cedis. And for all of us who are here, when we close, at the back of it, the T-shirts are there. Please pick a copy for 100 Ghana cedis.
So the T-shirts are going for only 100 Ghana cedis. Pick one, hop on the bus on the 13th. Let's go to Nkrumah for the week-long celebration that culminates into the 115th birthday celebration of Osajifo Dr. Kwame Nkrumah, the first president of our dear nation, Ghana. Born in Nkrumah, made in Ghana, and made for Africa. This is the man we're celebrating today. I hope to see all of you there in Nkrumah in a few weeks.
So, ladies and gentlemen, we're very grateful for your presence. And I would like to acknowledge, I will do the final bit, which is the vote of thanks. First, I would like to thank the Honorable Ama Kofi Bua for leading this charge for us. I'd also like to thank the Honorable Kofi Ako Noko. I owe 1,000 cities. I'd also like to thank the Honorable Mahama Yarigra for supporting the activity and believing in the cause. Also like to acknowledge the presence of the Honorable Dorcas Afo Toffe, Mr. Charles Mensah. Mr. Charles Mochian sends his apologies, he couldn't be here. Mr. Kingsley Opoku, thank you very much for being here. Dr. Ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to thank all of you. And I'm grateful for the guests who are here and for you also. And I would like my senior to wrap up for me. Thank you so much.
A special thanks to the members of the Nkrumah professional community. I see them here. Thank you all for coming despite your busy working days. Yes, I think we've covered everybody. Thank you. Thank you very much. Yes. Okay. Thank you. Nanamo, Edabasi. Honorable because some of them are leaving, but we are going to be here for some time. We are going to. Right. Okay. Yo, let's.
No way, Beveshe, na Bevre Parliament, Duma. Moses Bunkia, Beveshe, it was smart.
Thank you. MPs in the hall. So thank you very much. Whilst we're seeing our honorable members off, we can remain. Remember that we have T-shirts at the back, 100 CDs per T-shirt. We still have something to eat, something to drink, more music. The event goes on, even though our leaders or our guests have left. So let us remember that all roads lead to Nkrumah on the 14th to the 22nd of September. Thank you very much for your attention.